Seaside Band, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Seaside. I see several of you are out in the social hall. I'd like to ask you to make your way in. And we will start with some announcements. My name is Terry Short. I'm a practitioner here, ministerial intern, and your education and special events director. So it's nice to see you all here today. We have a couple connection groups coming up. The Business Connection Group has their next meeting Saturday, May 9th at 10 a.m., and that is for everyone, even if you're retired, even if you're starting a business, even if you're currently in a successful business. It's really a collaboration connection group, and they meet on the 9th and the Quimby classroom, which is you would enter from the west side of the building. West side. And thank you, I'm good. And the Couples Connection is meeting on Friday, May 8th from 5 to 8 at the Skyloft Community Center. And Boyd and Deborah Rollins run that, so any question, please reach out to them. They do have a sign-up sheet out in the social hall, and they are doing a potluck of Mexican food for celebrating Cinco de Mayo. And then we have Rev Rebecca's new class, a 4-week class coming up. It's called Ageless Radiance. God's Goddesses Never Age, and that is based on the book, the wonderful book by Dr. Christian Northrup, Goddesses Never Age, and she adjusted it to include men too. So, thank you very much. And that is a daytime class from 12:30 to 2:30 on Thursdays for 4 weeks. So, signing up is in the hall or online under the Education tab. And we have our information meeting for Advanced Consciousness Studies. That's the year-long, 27-week. It starts in September, goes through May. Of course, you have breaks, but that is with Rev Deb and myself will have the meeting, but Rev Deb is the instructor, and that is if you're on the practitioner path or if you just want to take that. But there are a few requirements of certificated classes, so please feel free to come to the meeting just to know what that path is, or see me today. I'll be behind the selling tickets today. And Dr. Kathy has Ancient Wisdom and Science of Mind. That started last week with a bang. And she is allowing people to drop in again or to sign up again to start this Thursday. So if you want to, please see me today as well. I'd like to get that curriculum in your hands. And this Friday night, we've been waiting for Peggy Lebo to come, and it is finally here. Friday, May 1st is our Friday Night Live, and her, Peggy Lebo and band. And she has a rich history, and so she is not only performing the music, she's telling stories. So please come out to that. That is $20 in advance and $25 at the door. And if you want help buying tickets, I am at the table today selling tickets. Yeah. Okay. I know this. It's on your seat in case you don't know, but please don't interrupt me again. I'm good. I get lost. All right, Gourmets for God host signups. That's the commotion out there in the family room, and that is we do a summer Gourmets for God where you can bid on events. That's a way to build connections here at Seaside, and a lot of fun. So people do sailing trips, they do karaoke night, they do margaritas and tacos. You name it. And if you want any ideas, see the gals at the table. But today we're just starting the host signups. And then this Wednesday night, we're so excited. Our Wednesday midweek service is Inner Light. That's meditation, music, and message. And this week we have our very own Susan Murphy. She is a ministerial intern, a practitioner, our board president, our kindness crew leader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're finally getting her on stage. So come on out this Wednesday night to see Susan. All right, and now I'd like to ask you to stand and greet your neighbor and remain standing for the congregational song.
Hello, hello, Seaside. Let's all stay standing together. We're going to sing our congregational song, God is my source. Greet your neighbor and then sing along with us. Great to have you here. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Come on, place for us, Father. blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. One more time. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Ooh, that's a good one there. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Hey, what a joy it is to be here with all of you today and all of you from home. It's a blessed day for sure. It is a wonderful message, great music, and we got Danielle.
Good morning.
Hey, you had a big week, didn't you?
I did, yes.
What went on?
I hosted the 2026 Unstoppable Singer Summit. We had 800 singers online, 30 speakers lecturing from the music industry. It was amazing.
Wow.
Pretty awesome.
That's good. That's good. And so if one wants to watch this or wants to watch one of your podcasts, how do you do that?
Yeah, just check out the unstoppablesinger.com. It's a great source. Singers, musicians, if you just want a little inspiration, uplifting, it's a great resource.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like that. That's good.
Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, is Stu around here? Stu, I know he was going to... Oh, there you are, right there in the front. Hey, look at these lovebirds. Yeah, we got flowers today. Aren't they gorgeous, Elaine? Did you know your sweetheart, Stu? We got those for you. Just thank you so much, Stu, for beautifying our sanctuary with your wonderful love and your relationship. Hey, we got Gourmets for God launching today. You got something to tell us about that? I do. Oh, here you go. Here's the microphone. I like that top. I'd wear something like that, yeah. Okay, yeah. We can wait till afterwards.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, well, I have a PSA, a private Seaside announcement.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so private, I'm announcing it. It's Gourmet of Gods, all right?
Hey.
I'm going to act like some of you haven't been to it before, but this is a great time of the year, although year-round it's a great time of the year here at Seaside. Why I love it is I'm holding up the host sheet that you can sign up starting today and the next few weeks. This is one of the best events we have at Seaside. Why? Well, we get to eat and we get to meet, okay? So, we have a few minutes before and after our services. Well, at the Gourmet of Gods, you've got hours to meet your fellow Seasiders, okay? And that is wonderful. Everybody here is a great person that attends Seaside. I will say that from personal heart. I've met many different people here over the years at these events, and we will host one, my wife and I, Elaine. And please sign up for one if you can. It's a gift to Seaside if you can. All the money goes to them. But also attend them. They are fantastic, and every week you bid on them. It's like a silent auction. So you check every week to make sure, because every year Lane and I bid on about 10, and we only win about 5 because everyone outbids us at the very end, all those secret people that want to go to that event. So that's what I highly encourage. One more PSA is I'm on the audiovisual team here. If you guys could please sit in the front row, that would be great. That way Edwin can use his camera earlier. And so it shows up. Anyway, thank you very much. Please do Gourmet of the Gods. Thank you.
Really nice, Stu. Thank you. All right. That's it. I'll take it. All right. So what that means is today we're starting the signups. We're going to take the next 3 weeks to get all of you to sign up and say, I'm willing to host a meal. So what is it that you would like to offer? Some houses you can have 4 people. Other houses there's 10. Or maybe like Steve White takes people sailing. But this is when we start signing up. So talk to Mala at the table out there, and she'll help you come up with a clever idea. Like people are serving Thai food. They call it Thai one over. I thought, man, that was pretty good. Or rockin' ribs. And, you have a party. People have had magicians going on. One time Nancy Chappie had watched the green flash. She served a lot of alcohol. And when the green flash didn't have, someone just carried a green spot across the guy. And, whoa, there you go. There's just all sorts of creative ideas. You watch the Padres and bring in pizza. It doesn't have to be fancy one. It can just be some peanuts at home. So the big thing is it starts today. The tables are out there. Talk with Mala. Say, sign up. I'd like to see us all hosting one so we all have a place to go. So will you do that? Well, that's a start anyway. I know you're thinking about it. But anyway, I'll tell you how we start here is with prayer. We got a wonderful prayer here today. Practitioner Emeritus Brian Atkins about to take us to a deeper place, but he usually has a story first.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. How's that? All right. Yes, I'm Brian Atkins. I'm your platform practitioner today. I have been a practitioner here at Seaside for over 20 years. I want to make sure everybody knows that today is Wall of Prayer. At the end of the service, we will have practitioners lined up in front of everybody. And I really encourage you to go up and get some prayer because it's powerful stuff. And now I'd like to take just a second to tell you about the effect of prayer in my life. And my story begins back when I was 20 years old, standing on the tracks of the subway in New York. And I was flat broke. I was there with my wife-to-be, Lisa. And I didn't know how we were going to get on the train because we needed $6 to get on the train, and we didn't have $6. So I brought it to prayer. I said, okay, God, we need help now. That's the way I prayed back then. But interestingly enough, we stood there on the tracks for a while, and suddenly, out of the darkness came this guy. He walked up to me and said, I'm a drug dealer. I just got in a fight. And I was like, I don't want to talk to this guy. And Lisa's like, Brian, ask him for money. I'm like, you ask him for money. So I finally said, okay, we need $6. Well, he just kind of looked through me, and after that, not much was said. The subway that we were going on, we all got on, and right before he got up to get off, he walked up to me, handed me a $10 bill, and said, here, this is all the money I've got. Prayer is powerful. And now I'd like to invite our light holder into the room. It's Sharon Ray De Leon, who's been with us for many, many years. She's almost emeritus, and she will be our light holder. Test. Great. All right. Now, as a light holder, Sharon will sit in the back in prayer and meditation, invoking the presence of God into the room. And now, I would like to bring you through our invocation. So here's what I know. I know there's one all-loving, all-caring source of divinity in this universe, and I call it God. It's omnipotent, it's all-powerful, it's omniscient, it's all-knowing, and it's omnipresent, meaning it's equally present everywhere in the universe at the same time. Which is why I know that God is right here, this moment, right here at Seaside with everyone here. We are all one with God. We are one with the source of love and caring and compassion, the source of wisdom and knowledge, the source of all that is and all that will ever be. Closer to us than our breath, that is where God is. It is because of that that I know that we are all heir to all the wealth and all the riches of the universe, for we are God's essence. And I simply give thanks in knowing that each of us here today receives exactly that which we are here for. As the words flow forth from Dr. Christian Sorensen's lips, each of us is touched. Each of us receives new inspiration, new insights. And we in turn take that message out into the world and pass it on to others. And consciousness expands throughout the world. And so I simply turn this time over to the hands of God and know that it is perfect.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know.
Thank you, Danielle. What a perfect song for these times. And Dr. Christian's talking about thriving through uncertainty, and thank you for making the microphone be certain today. Thank you. And thank you, Brian. Beautiful prayer in. Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Christina Tillison, and it's my honor to welcome you to Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, whether you're coming in from all over the world online or whether you're here celebrating with us in person. Thank you for sharing your energy and your light and your love with us today. If you're new, we are so grateful you're here, whether you're new to us out in the internet or whether you're new here. If you're new here, we have a special packet for you. It's out by the glass doors as you go out the back. It's all kinds of goodies for you, a QR code for stuff from Dr. Christian and gifts from us from you, and finding about our philosophy and faith and way of life. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your energy with us here at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, where we are a thriving spiritual community, inspiring us to live our divinity. And as you heard from the millions of announcements today, you've got lots of ways to participate and celebrate that divinity. And on a personal note, I always sign up for at least 5 or 6 gourmets for God, so I will be at them. So thank you, everybody. So today, Dr. Christian's talking about a very timely topic, thriving through uncertainty. And the way I've been thriving through uncertainty and all the chaos of this time is how many? It's on YouTube. I have it on my TV all the time. The Eagle's Nest in Big Bear Lake. How many have been watching that? The eaglets hatched 3 weeks ago on Easter. And so just watching the mother, Shadow and Jackie, the mother and father, and the little eaglets growing, and now they're flapping their wings. That's wonder. That's a way to tap into something outside of ourselves and kind of go above the uncertainty and the craziness of this life. So I've chosen to read about wonder today, and it's from a book I just bought. It's called Tracking Wonder by Jeffrey Davis. Wonder is what can nudge your meaningful ideas toward fulfillment, even amid inevitable challenges. A computer crash, a toddler tantrum, or your own mental fatigue. Wonder, as we will see, can also provide the perspective to push through difficult experiences of grief, illness, or failure. For unlike almost any other emotional experience, wonder can keep us buoyant amid the waves of uncertainty, of sorrow, of fear, without sinking into complete despair. That's because wonder momentarily dissolves our habitual ways of seeing, relating, and thinking so that we can glimpse again what is real and true, beautiful and possible. Wonder is also a healing force. It snaps us out of cynicism and disbelief. It interrupts patterns of negativity, rumination, and monotony, rescues us from maelstorms of downward spirals, and offers us glimpses of another reality right where we are. In addition, wonder turns us away from self-absorption and attunes us to others. Imagine an experience of wonder like a pebble dropped into the pond of your perception. These moments, often quiet and fleeting, make ripplets that expand and linger. Attend to enough of these rippling moments over time, and your overall outlook just might shift for the better. And let us remember this. As anyone who has ever gazed up at the stars on a clear night knows, wonder is ultimately inexplicable, connecting us to the divine mysteries of the universe.
Thank you so much for that message. All right, my friends. Well, it is my honor to introduce our guest artist today. He is a returning friend to Seaside. He's an incredible Southern California artist. He is a Marine Corps veteran. He has built give it up. He's built a thriving career based on faith, resilience, and he is here to share his incredible message with us today. Please give it up for Derek Harris, everyone.
Good morning. How's everybody? How you doing? I should have said check 1, 2 before I tested it. So good to see you all today. Thriving through uncertainty. Isn't that it? Yes. And when I was younger, my mother was very adamant about me being strong inside. And so sometimes we take these rides after long days, and she turned on Frank Sinatra and let me listen to That's Life. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm singing this, but she just wants me to get these words right. And I got older and I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's right. That is life. So while you're going through life and you're struggling, I want to encourage you to just keep on pushing. Gents? That's life. That's what all the people say. Riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change my tune when I'm back on top in June. That's life. As funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I know I won't let it get me down, 'cause this final world keeps spinning round. Listen, I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, you know, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down, over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race, 'cause that's life, and I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, my heart ain't gonna bite. But if nothing's coming shaking this here July, I'll jump right on a big bird and then I'll fly. It's okay if you want to clap. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down, over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life, and I can't deny it. I think of quitting, but my heart ain't gonna bite. But if nothing's coming shaking this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball. And guess what I'll do? I'll try my. If you feel like giving up, just keep on trying. That's life.
Where am I going now? Hey, have you ever asked life for a sign and it gave you something that seemed more like a riddle than a sign? It's like you asked life for something like, should I, take this job? Should I pursue this relationship? And it gives you a butterfly. A butterfly? What are you supposed to do with a butterfly? Follow it, eat it, take a picture, put it on Snapchat or Facebook. I mean, what are you supposed to do with something like that? All of a sudden you begin to wonder, does it mean this? Does it mean that? Well, to be able to thrive through uncertainty, that's what I'm going to do this morning, is to help us, because Spirit obviously thinks we're ready for the advanced course with signs like that in our life. And so when we have the uncertainty going on in our life, it's not as if we're being punished. I don't know what I'm going to do here, but rather it's a portal. It is an invitation to a sacred space where you have let go of what was, and you don't quite yet know what it is that is emerging here. It is just something you got to be willing to take a step into. If you're not stepping into it, then you're never really going to know. I mean, have you ever gone out late at night, or it doesn't have to be late at night, just a dark night? How about a forest like Montana? And all you got is your flashlight? And, it should be nice if we had floodlights so I could see the whole path way down there. But all I've got is this flashlight. And I'm sure, at least the story I'm telling myself, is right on the edges of that light ray are the critters, just ready to say, thank you, God, for the meal delivery coming their way. But you know what? I calm myself down and say, you just got to take the next step. And as you take the next step, you see a little bit further, and the next step, and the next step. And so far, it's always worked. I've made it to where it is I'm going. And so what we want to do, if you want to thrive through uncertainty, you got to be willing to take the next step and the next step and move into, because this chaos in our life, or this uncertainty in our life, it's really a creative process that's going on. It is the creative process that is unfolding in our world. It is knocking off and cracking us out of the old shells of what no longer serves us. Like a seed, it's got to crack the shell before the tree can rise to the heavens, right? Well, the seed may feel like it has been buried alive when it's thrown in the ground, but it's been planted. Well, in our lives, it feels like sometimes we have been buried alive, but really it's in that darkness that you begin to grow. That pressure is really something that is in activating the entelechy that is within us, that is allowing us to come forth and be that which we know that we can be in our life and in our world. And it doesn't mean we don't have some challenges along the way. I mean, to think that I love God and everything's going to be wonderful, rookie mistake right there. See, transformative love has you moving through processes in your life so you can begin to grow in a deeper way. And it doesn't mean your heart doesn't get broken, but if it gets broken, you get to decide, is it now going to be a deeper vessel to hold more love? Or am I just going to numb myself out? Just be bitter and poison myself. I mean, you can do either one. Choice is yours. But I want to assure you that God is not like a rotten boyfriend who, loses interest when you start to get some gray hairs, or you put on a few extra pounds or chins or whatever it is that seems to be creating this sense of separation. The Spirit never forgets your birthday. Actually, it never forgets any day of your life. The goddess or the god or the divine or whatever you want to call it is not fickle. It's not narcissistic. It's not passive aggressive. It doesn't count how many mala beads that you need to get accurate. Spirit is there for us, and it's up to us to know that in our life. Hafiz, 14th century Persian poet. Hafiz says that I only wish when you were lonely and in darkness that I could show you how astonishing your light of being is. I wish I could show you when you're in that darkness or in the loneliness how astonishing your light is. I mean, this is the truth of who you are, and you're the one who is invited to remember that when you're in that place of uncertainty. It's in the remembering that all of a sudden you become empowered, that you can begin to thrive once again in your life. There was a woman who was standing at a bus stop, a rainy night, probably not a wild storm, but a rainy night. She was crying, and an elderly gentleman came up to her and saw and said, I don't know what you're going through, but what I do know for sure is that storms, they don't come to stay. They come to clear the sky. And this woman would say later that statement changed her life. Now, that statement didn't make things better. It didn't bring the clarity or the certainty or anything else. But what it did is it reminded her that it is the storms that clear the sky and allow one to once again reorient themselves to be able to move forward in life and in their world. And really, it's important to recognize that, a lot of times the angels in our life, they show up out of the blue. Like, Brian's drug addict who gave him $10. Angels look like strangers sometimes that we don't even realize that are there. I mean, have you ever, discovered that like an angel, the kind that their smile heals? Their light shines, their presence shines the light on your path, their path, like the flowers are swaying gently. I mean, have you noticed that often they show up disguised as people? And then have you noticed that a lot of times they don't even know they're angels? I'm talking about you guys. You know, I'm talking about you. Now, we get to decide what we're going to do with what comes our way in our life and in our world. And, and sometimes we just want to move through what we're going through real quickly. We want to transition through the transition like a bad root canal. We just want to get done with that. But part of our growth and our evolution is to be able to take a look at our life and begin to see what it is that we need to get. What does this butterfly mean? What is what's going on in my world? How can I sit with this and move to a greater place of clarity and understanding? Because you know what? I've got to get good with that voice that is in my head, or that guidance that is within me, that greater expression of spirit that wants to express itself as my life. I'm the one who gets to work with that in my world. And so I get to decide, what am I going to do here? And what kind of voice am I listening to in my head? Am I going to listen to one that shames me? Why in the world would I listen to something that would shame me or guilt me or put me down? I need to be able to champion myself. I got to be able to listen to something that empowers me, because sometimes you got worry just, as if they're playing ping pong with each other in the teeny cabin of the ship in my consciousness, drinking whiskey and trading just horrendous scenarios of what's possible. And this is going on in my head. That is the time which they need to be kicked out. That is the time which I need to champion myself. That is the time I need to choose to listen to that wiser aspect. If I am unclear, if I'm giving my power away and I want to thrive, I need to be listening to someone who's like my hip older brother or older sister. I need to be listening to that mirth-making wizard of my being that knows that there's something greater than these worries that are playing games. If I'm in a place of uncertainty and not knowing, where am I going to go with that? Am I going to go to a higher place, or am I going to allow myself to go down to a lower place? It comes down to, what are you listening to, and why would you listen to the garbage? Yeah, I don't know. Don't say yeah. I mean, you're the one who has to realize that the opportunity to thrive and that presence that is there is always there. There was a guy that lived in the city all of his life and never seen stars because he lived in a big city all of his life. And one night, the power went out across the whole region. The sky was black. He stepped outside and saw the Milky Way for the first time. He said, wow. Yeah. He never knew it was there. Sometimes things have to go dark in our life for us to recognize that, there are stars that are there. There are options that are there. Sometimes things just need to get black so we can begin to see that spirit has been here all the time, because now I'm reaching out to something greater than what I can lean on within my own self. I'm using this moment to dig down, in a sense, and I come to discover the just awe of it all. I remember I went to the Redwoods the first time and drive there and, chatting up in the car. Callie, Trevor, he's listening to his iPad. Things are kind of noisy, laughing. And you drive into the Redwoods. You ever seen this? And you just see these amazing giants reaching towards the heaven. You get out of the car and you're like in this outdoor cathedral. It's just a total awe. The energy shifts, naturally become quiet. It's not about shushing anybody. It's just you're standing there in this majesty, in awe, which is really a state of gratitude that, wow, there aren't even words for what this is. This is what can happen to us when we allow ourselves to be in a place that can shift us. And not always are we in a place that shifts us look like we think we are in a place that will shift us. It sometimes looks like problems and challenges and difficulties. I mean, you remember the story, Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, where Jean Valjean starts off with him stealing bread to feed his family. I mean, so really one of the ethical questions is what kind of society would allow a situation to be like that? But that's not really what the story was about. But I mean, get lost in the first few, in the beginning, you know, the guy steals, so he gets caught, he gets thrown in jail, spends 19 years incarcerated doing the hard labor for the loaf of bread he stole to feed his starving child. And so when he gets released, for 19 years he has nothing, has no family, nowhere to go, doesn't know what to do. And he's afraid that the only thing he knows is how to be a thief at this point. This is what incarceration had taught him. And he's on his way to wherever he's going. He spends the night in a monastery, and the bishop there feeds him on some beautiful silver and silverware. And he said, no, you can't, Jean, you can't do this. But, you know, that night he decides to swipe it. He swipes it and he sneaks out of the mission. And on the way down the hill, the police catch him. And he said, no, this was given to me. Let's go see. The police take him back to the bishop. And with the mercy of the divine in the bishop says, Jean, I'm glad you came back. I forgot to give you my silver candlesticks. And he gave him that. It's in that moment that his life was changed forever. The rest of that story is about how he continued to love, how he chose compassion over anger, how he chose to be kind instead of angry. You know, it's how he took care of this young girl whose mother had died and put her in a foster home and gave money. Cosette became the love in his life that he took care of. He did everything to support her, and she found her guy, and they were happy, and they got married, and all of a sudden Jean Valjean told the husband what his past was, and he was like ostracized. He was dropped, and so he gave him the space. But you know, it ends up with them coming back, Cosette and Jean Valjean, you know, crying on his deathbed and just saying, "Your love, we're so sorry." And all of a sudden, this guy whose life was one of crime, transformed by the mercy of a bishop, like stepping into the awe of the redwoods, of seeing something divine that is within you, awakened something inside of him that allowed him to thrive in the middle of a French Revolution, the 19th century, with people dying around him, and he's choosing to love and to care and to be that. That is what can happen, even if we have had a broken heart or a rough upbringing or something that has gone on in our life that has brought us to our knees, and we are confused, and God, give me a sign, and we don't know what the sign is. What we've got to do is take that next step, that which is in that flashlight. If I take this step, it's going to show me the next step, and it's going to show me the next step, and the next thing I know, my love can be a reflection of that kind of love that is ever available to us. But sometimes it comes in ways we never even imagined were possible, that in the midst of jail, you were learning that new level of your soul expression. It's like David and Goliath. You know, David, you know, he didn't learn on the battlefield. He learned tending sheep how to throw those slingshots. We don't always know where we're going to be getting it, but if we allow ourselves to continue to take that next step, we learn what is necessary. Ernest Holmes, you know, the founder of our philosophy, he wrote in his book, The Voice Celestial, which was his last book. It was an epic poem he wrote with his brother, came out the year he died, and we've got a little phrase from that. Ernest writes, "He comes in beauty and he comes in storm, but in them both the presence is revealed to him who is attuned. And he who loves will hear the voice of love," right? Spirit's going to come to you in those beautiful redwood moments, but it's also going to come to you in the midst of the storm at a bus stop or in incarceration. But it will come to both, you know, who are tuned to that and say, okay, this is going to be the moment in which I awaken to a greater something. In my midst of confusion and uncertainty, I'm going to choose to thrive. I'm going to choose to know that presence, and it's going to be there. It's going to rise in me. No matter what is going on, I'm going to turn to the presence of God. I mean, this week, or last week, I bit into a kernel of popcorn, and I had a piece of my tooth come out with it. Yep, so call up my dentist. Hey, Tanya, I need help. She said, come on in. So I came on in, and I sat in the chair, and she took x-rays and said, well, good news is you don't need a root canal. You don't need a post for a new tooth, but you do need a crown. He said, shall we get going? I said, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And say, it's going to take about an hour and a half as she straps on her latex gloves, her hands looking like the size of basketball players as she crams them both into my mouth. Her little aide says, hey, you want to watch Netflix up there on the ceiling? And I said, no, thanks, I'll meditate. You know? And then all of a sudden, the drills go, and like I'm on a construction site, the hose sucking water out of my mouth like it's a bathtub that's emptying. I'm just lying there. But what's amazing is my head just went, this is divine. This is God. This is the answer to prayer. How fortunate I am that the hands of God are so large that they're working on me right here in this moment. And my dentist is an artist. It is amazing that I'm here and not in the jungles of Borneo somewhere. This is an amazing moment that truly the grace of God has its way. And I surrender to this. I trust this. And I allow my whole vibrational being to be of that kind of thing. I'm not trying to overcome the drills and the water and I'm not overcoming anything. I'm just fully immersed in the presence of God, and the hour and a half is gone, and I said, okay, that's it. It's like, that's it? What happened at the time? Well, I was with God. I was hanging out with the beauty, the grace, the glory, the artistry, the wonder, the ease, the unfoldment. It's not like I was trying to overcome, these enormous hands in my head, but rather I was with Spirit. I wasn't trying to overcome anything. I was just with the presence of God. And as we do, I think it was Isaiah, at least they say it was him, that, he will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on spirit, right? We'll keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on spirit. It's 26th chapter there where Isaiah said that. You just keep your head on spirit, not trying to overcome something, not trying to figure out the uncertainty, not to overcome the discomfort of the moment. I'm just going to spirit. Joshua said, choose you this day who you're going to serve, Am I going to serve my fears, my worries, playing ping pong in the small cabin of my consciousness? Or am I going to, serve that presence in my life? This is how you overcome uncertainty. You got the confusion, you got the riddle. What does this mean? No, I'm going to choose thriving. I'm going to listen to that something that is inside my being that is so much greater than what is going on in this world because it is moving me. I got this other slide here. When your life feels unclear, right? You got the uncertainty. It's unclear. It often can mean you're outgrowing your former self, your older self, the older version of who you are. You're outgrowing who you once were. If your life feels like it's lacking clarity, your intuition could be trying to pull you to somewhere new. If your soul is preparing you for the next level of vibration of your being, to express yourself at a higher level. I mean, if you're dealing with, uncertainty and things are unclear, maybe something is trying to align that is attempting to show up in your life. Something aligned is attempting to show up into your world, something more, something greater, something that is new. But so often we try to not, try to make it more difficult than it needs be. Our uncertainty is an invitation. You got that? It's an invitation for us to move to higher ground, to step into a thriving world. So if you're being bombarded by headlines that are just freaking you out, remember, Spirit's not fickle. Spirit is right there in the midst of it. So I want to know as Spirit knows in the spiritual truth here. I don't want any riddles. I just want to know that things are in a better place than I thought they were or where I thought they were going. That Spirit is seeking to unfold itself in ways that are greater than I ever could have imagined in my life. Here's a process for you. If you want to gain clarity, you put your hand on your heart, and you can do this right here. I'll do it quick, and just slow down your breathing a little bit, and you follow your breath a little bit, and then you ask, where am I not clear? Where can I use where things seem confusing? And then you ask Spirit to show me what is my next step. Not the whole path. Spirit doesn't usually give us the whole path, right? Turn on the lights so I can see the whole forest. No, it gives me the next step. Okay, and that's all I need to know is what is my next step? Ask yourself. And then what you hear, feel, sense, nudge, inkling, image, that's your soul speaking. And just confirm, I only need the next step, not the whole path. I only need the next step, not the whole path. You thank yourself, you let it go, and know that it's available to you always and forever. See, you're able to enter that place. You know, it is that quantum field where your past, your present, and your future are simultaneously available. And so as you enter into that quantum field, you get to decide where I'm going to attune with. Ernest Holmes says, those that attune with will find that beloved, will find that presence. What am I going to attune with? I was listening to Joe Dispenza and doing some meditation yesterday. And one of his lines he uses often when he's talking about entering into that quantum field, he says that let yourself align with the vision of your future instead of the memories of the past. Allow yourself to align with the vision of your future instead of the memories of the past. And then you will become a person that is ahead of their time. And if you don't, then your past becomes your future. You decide, yeah, whether you're going to align with that vision of your future and become a person who's ahead of your time, and let your past, your memories, have their way in your life. It can be that simple. You're quiet, you listen, you choose to come into that synchronized field because there's something inside of you. It's like the Christ consciousness in its embryonic state seeking to birth itself within our life. It's ready to thrive within your world, but you have to fan it from the inside. You have to begin to fan it into a flame. You got to begin to allow that light to dance in your world and to have that presence be it's expressed. You're the one who gets to say that whatever is going on in my life, whether I get lost in that forest, whether I get incarcerated like that, or whatever that challenge may be, I've got to know that this is meant for good. Whatever is going on in my life is meant for good. Whatever is happening is meant for my good. Let's say that together. Whatever is going on in my life is meant for my good. Together, whatever is going on in my life is meant for my good. Again, whatever is going on in my life is meant for my good. Are you able to believe it? Are you able to feed that? Are you able to support that? Are you able to take that next step from uncertainty, moving to a place of a thriving life? Because I'll tell you, you were born to enjoy this life, not to repair it. You know how many people think they need to repair that life? I'll tell you, when I wake up and I say, okay, I'm choosing love today, and I step out in the world, reality sets in and says, do you really mean it? Yeah. Do you really mean it? But what happens is so often we like hold on to things. And there's a Zen saying that says, let go or be dragged. I mean, pretty clear. Let go or be dragged. It's, you get to decide. And sometimes it takes greater courage and strength to let go than it is to defend and to hold on. And so as we do that, we begin to step into a place that that can be very powerful. We are able to let go, but sometimes we're not able to let go. I think it's a Sufi saying that says, when the heart is weeping from what it lost, the soul is laughing for what it has gained. And so what I want us really to take back with us today, that if we want to thrive through uncertainty, it doesn't mean that we have all the answers, but it's to remind us that we're connected to that which does. God bless us as we keep sight of that. Love you. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Derek back to our stage.
Hello, everybody, again. So good to see your beautiful smiling faces. You know, while you're going through life and it seems hard, one of the most important things on your journey is patience. Patience with yourself, patience with the outcome. I mean, I don't really know much. I'm only 42, but that's what I've experienced. So just be patient. 1, 2, 3, 4. Me and all my friends, we're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing else. There's no way we ever could. Now with everything going wrong with the world and those who lead it, we feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. We keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance. We keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. If we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would have never missed a Christmas. No more ribbons on your door. So when you trust the television, see what you get is what you got. See, it's the only information. No, they can bend it all they want. That's why we're waiting, waiting on the world to change. You know we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's not that we don't care, but we know that the fight ain't fair. While we're waiting, waiting on the world to change. Check out this wonderful saxophone solo. That's why we're waiting on the world to change. You know we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. That's why we're waiting on the world to change. 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 Just be patient and love yourself. You're worth it.
That is Derek Harris. Great job, Derek. Love that, man. That was great. Woo. Oh, man. Let's do it, man. The whole thing.
We're a hugging community.
Yeah, we are. That's for sure. That's true about Seaside. All right. Well, hey, this is time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift. And as we give, it comes back. But that's not why we do it. That's just how the law of circulation works. You allow yourself to be in that wonderful stream of that wonderful fluent flow. And what you find is Spirit showing up in our lives that are in ways that are relevant, right, real, pertinent, and of value to us. And so it's important to just allow ourselves to support Spirit's work, and we find that our life is Spirit's work. This is the way it works. So with that said, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward as we take our gifts from our heart and our soul. And I want to say thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you can't be here. Greatly appreciated. For those of you that are home or watching online who are pressing one of those buttons, whether it's Breeze or PayPal or Venmo or whatever it is, know that it takes 5-6 individuals every week to deliver this stream to around the world, where we've got 500 people a week that at least that are watching it, and those that are part of our auto tithe, those that said, hey, at the beginning of the year, count me in. This is my family, whether I'm there or not. This regular support is coming your way, and that regular flow is imperative in our ability to operate with the ease and the comfort and certainty. So With that said, I want to share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the fullness of the divine unfolds its expression through each and every one of us. For we become that wonderful avenue, that channel, that vortex through which that good just emanates from the very depth of our vibrational being. So with a sense of joy, we send this forth with a heart full of love and just find our world is filled with more love and more blessings and more good. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for being able to be part of this conscious giving, and so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. From Seaside. Great job, guys. And I stand before this bounty, feeling the outpouring of the love and the caring and the blessings that have been infused right here. And so this wonderful bucket of blessings just overflows and brings a richness and a fullness to this community in ways that exceed wildest expectations. For the grace of God has touched all those that have been part of this wonderful stream. So grateful to know this gift that is made in love, that it's received in love, and it is handled in good stewardship, and is put forth back into life to carry that love to all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment of deep remembering, and so it is. Amen. Hey, this is Louise Wright. She is your a board member, one of your board members here at Seaside, wondering that beautiful blue sparkles. And so we got Gourmets for God going on, the sign-ups anyway, saying, hey, I'm willing to host one. So, no, well, I haven't told that Callie yet. She put me on the spot, huh? So, anyway, so that's going on. So I encourage everybody to go sign up, right? Today's sign up. Okay, go do that. Great, go get them. All right, that's it. Thank you, Louise. Speaking of thank yous, Derek, just fabulous songs today. Just love that for sure. Two great songs, man. Danielle, always a joy to share the morning with you and to hear the wonderful projects. Congratulations on 800 singers joining your symposium. Or just that's great. And Dr. Christina, always a joy to share a Sunday with you and the wonderful wisdom you bring from the sages. You're a blessing to us all. And giving us sound today is Ed Reeves. Thank you, Ed. Giving us the visuals is Landon. Appreciate that. And a wonderful stream team around the perimeter, as well as behind that wall, we have Stu, we saw in there, as well as Seth, who's splicing it all up. Good week going on at Seaside. Wednesday night, we have Susan Murphy, who's going to be doing her first talk. So come bring out the support for her on this wonderful event that's going, What If You Knew? And there's something inside of her that knows, and she just can't wait to share it with you. So it's wonderful happening on Wednesday nights. Plan to be here every Wednesday, but this Wednesday it's Susan that's going on. Thursday night, Dr. Kathy Hearn's class has begun, but it's not too late to get involved with it. She's bringing some of the ancient wisdom that correlates with religious science together for people to experience. It's an amazing journey with the Celtic teachings and the pagans and the Mayans and just a wonderful Thursday night. Friday night, you have heard and know we have got Peggy Lebo coming. We've been waiting for this night for a while. You have on your seats these wonderful cards. Share it with somebody. Let's fill the house. You know, the tickets are just not expensive. We've made it as a doable outing, a great date idea. It is a wonderful night of music and stories and just Peggy and her wonderful Seaside sister presence for us all. So that's going on. And then you get into the weekend. Next Sunday, we've got the class. If you're interested in going into advanced consciousness, that's happening. If you think about going on to practitioner, there's just an informative class after the service next Sunday. So you want to, if you got a little inkling, just curiosity, doesn't mean you have to sign up or take it. It's just if you have questions, that's where they're going to be answered before summer starts. So with that said, we got our wonderful kids. It's like pancake day in there or something. So anyway, Miss Jessica, what's going on, man? Your kids keep growing.
Yeah, my kids, oh yes, they
Hey,
keep
you know,
growing,
can
and
we-
they grew in height
We
today.
could use some more volunteers, right?
Yes, wanted.
you know,
All loving,
I-
helping hands. Wanted.
Wanted, yeah.
Wanted.
Come talk to you. I mean,
Yep.
it
I'll be
takes
hanging
all
in
of
the
us
back by
to
the-
operate our wonderful youth program. You know, just 1 hour a quarter would make a huge difference. You heard stories that I shared today
betcha.
about some kind words changing somebody's life. It is a gift to you, a blessing to our children.
Yeah.
And as we continue to grow, we have 2 rooms, and Jessica needs to use both of them at this point because we got age ranges. So
We do. We have a lot of age ranges of real cool kids, right, guys?
Yeah.
Some really cool kids. So what are we going to teach today? What did we make today?
Perfect expressions of God.
Perfect expressions of God, aka pancakes. And then what were some of the God ingredients that we used to make these perfect expressions of God?
Abundance.
Wholeness. Creativity.
You remember which one?
Wholeness.
You got a lot of wholeness. Chloe, do you remember? No? Love, Cash. What ingredient did you use? Do you remember? Which one? Unity. Yeah, so we mixed all of these ingredients together to create the perfect expression of God, which is us. And we used all of the same ingredients, but did any of our perfect expressions look the same?
No.
No, just like us, right? But we're all made from the same sweet stuff. Yep, that's what we did today, last Friday.
all right. Hey. You're getting good with that pancake lesson. I like it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to pray because really the morning moves to this moment where the shift can take place. And so I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand up here because I'm going to pray and then Danielle's going to sing us out of here. And then you're invited to come up and receive prayer. And, you know, this is a wonderful time to move to a greater sense of clarity, to move to that place of a deep knowing. And Susie, you're in Prac 2 graduating. If you want to stand, come on up and join us up here. And to come to any one of these individuals and just say, and you're going to get about a minute prayer. I call it telescopic brevity. This is what's going on, and this is the prayer you get. It's not a full session. You can always, get to work with somebody later on a professional level, but this is for prayer. So, but right now I can feel the joy, the sense, the wonder, the presence of the God emerging in this moment. I can feel it and know that the divine absolutely is having its way, and I am that place in which that way is revealed. So grateful to come into a greater coherence with that divine emanation, that wonderful vibration. I begin to see as Spirit sees and feel the stirring, the birthing of that wonderful Christ light. For truly there's something that is about to shine on my path in ways that are grand, glorious, glorious, wonderful, and real. And so knowing that it's in this light that is seen, I find the courage to take that next step, stepping into that which is revealed next and trusting that and finding that wonderful expression, revealing to me that which brings joy to the heart. And it's in this joyful expression, this creative expression, letting go of chaos for creative process, letting go of punishment for portal, just allowing the chaos to be an invitation to a greater state of awareness. I find the flow of Spirit finds its expression in my life, matching the vibrational state of my being, materializing in the health and the wealth, the well-being, the love within relationships, the deeper kind of communication, the creative expression, all these natural divine states. The divine nature is my nature, your nature. And as I come into this wonderful resonance with this future self begins to find its presencing, its expression in this time and space. So grateful to know I live with the ease and the grace and the love and abundance of God. I'm able to let go, trusting and believing in this higher yet to be as my very experience now. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God wasn't hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, let's hear you. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
Hey, and our affirmation for the week is, I am enough exactly as I am. Together, I am enough exactly as I am. Touch your heart and say it again. I am enough exactly as I am. One more time like it's your truth. Come on. I am enough exactly as I am. In our song of grace.
I'm living in love, I'm living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace.
Come on forward and receive some prayer. We're all here for you. Make your requests known and be receptive to the blessings that come your way.